Spaghetti is one of the most loved foods in the world, and its production inside a modern factory is a long, carefully controlled process that combines farming, technology, and precision engineering. It all begins in the wheat fields, where a special type of wheat called Durum wheat is grown because it has more protein and gluten compared to other types. These two qualities give spaghetti its firm texture and ability to hold its shape after boiling. When the wheat fields turn golden, huge machines called combine harvesters are used to cut the wheat plants. These harvesters are very powerful and can collect, cut, and separate grains from the stalks all at once. Inside the machine, rotating drums and filters remove the outer husk and separate clean grains, which fall into a storage tank inside the harvester. Once full, the grains are moved into big trucks that transport them to the pasta factory. At the factory, before anything else, the wheat must pass a strict quality test. Automatic systems and lab technicians check every batch for protein content, moisture level, color, and grain hardness. This ensures that only the best quality wheat goes into pasta production. If the wheat passes all tests, it is unloaded into large silos built underground or in huge towers above the factory. These silos are climate controlled and protected from pests, humidity, and temperature changes to keep the wheat in perfect condition until it is needed for milling. The next major step is cleaning. The wheat is passed through several cleaning machines that use air blowers, magnets, and vibrating screens to remove stones, dust, metal pieces, or any impurities. The cleaned wheat then goes into a process called milling, where it is crushed and ground into smaller and smaller pieces using large roller mills. During milling, the grain is separated into three main parts: bran, the outer shell; germ, the small nutrient-rich part; and endosperm, the main white portion. For pasta, only the endosperm is used, which after grinding becomes a coarse yellowish flour known as semolina. Semolina is the foundation of all pasta products. Once enough semolina is produced, it goes through another cleaning and sifting process to ensure a consistent texture. Quality control teams again take samples to test the protein level, gluten strength, and moisture content. Only high-quality semolina is moved forward for dough preparation. The dough-making process begins when the semolina is transferred into large mixing vats or chambers. At this stage, purified water is added slowly, usually making up 30 to 35% of the total weight. No salt, eggs, or preservatives are added in most industrial spaghetti production because the goal is to create a pure dough with only wheat and water. As water mixes with semolina, it forms a crumbly, grainy dough. In small traditional pasta shops, this step can take 30 to 40 minutes and is done gently to preserve texture, but in factories, high-speed industrial mixers can prepare hundreds of kilograms of dough in only a few minutes. The next step is extrusion. The prepared dough is pushed into a large extruder machine, which has a strong metal screw that rotates with great pressure and forces the dough through specially designed metal plates called dies. Each die has small holes shaped according to the pasta type, being made round holes for spaghetti, ridged ones for pen, spiral shapes for fusilli, and so on. For spaghetti, the die has tiny round openings, usually 1.5 to 2 millimeters wide. The dough passes through these openings and comes out in long, thin strands. To make the strands even and uniform, a fast spinning blade cuts them at the desired length, usually between 25 and 30 centimeters. These freshly extruded spaghetti strands are still soft and contain a high amount of moisture, so they are laid neatly on moving conveyor belts or hung on long metal rods that carry them toward the drying section. Drying is the most critical stage in spaghetti production because it determines the final quality, texture, and shelf life. The drying process begins in large climate, controlled chambers where hot air, usually between 80 and 90 degrees Celsius, is blown evenly through the spaghetti. The temperature and humidity are carefully controlled by sensors and computer systems to avoid cracking, bending, or over-drying. The goal is to gradually reduce the spaghetti's moisture content from around 30% down to about 12 to 13%. This step can take anywhere from 6 to 24 hours, depending on the factory's equipment and production speed. If the spaghetti dries too fast, it may become brittle and break easily. If it dries too slowly, it can spoil or grow mold. Therefore, modern factories use automated systems that constantly monitor and adjust airflow, heat, and time to maintain perfect drying conditions. After drying, the spaghetti strands are passed through a cooling tunnel where fans circulate cool air to stabilize their temperature and prevent damage. Once cooled, the spaghetti is tested again for moisture level, strength, and color. The next phase is cutting and packaging. Machines automatically align the long strands and cut them into standard sizes suitable for packaging. The spaghetti is portioned into specific weights, commonly 250 grams, 500 grams, or 1 kilogram, and then moved onto automatic packaging lines. There, each portion is packed into printed plastic bags or boxes that are sealed to protect against air and humidity. Laser scanners check each pack for sealing quality, labeling accuracy, and overall appearance. The packaged products are then boxed, stacked on pallets, and stored in a temperature-controlled warehouse ready for shipping to stores across the world. Throughout this process, every step is tracked by a computerized quality assurance system that records batch numbers, test results, and equipment performance to ensure food safety and traceability. Modern spaghetti factories follow strict hygiene standards such as HACCP, hazard analysis and critical control points, and ISO certifications to guarantee that every product meets international safety and quality requirements. Workers wear protective clothing, hairnets, and gloves, and all equipment is regularly sanitized to maintain cleanliness. The entire operation, from wheat arrival to final packaging, is almost fully automated, requiring minimal human contact. The use of robotics and smart sensors allows continuous production, often 24 hours a day. Some factories even use AI-based monitoring systems that can detect texture or color variations and automatically adjust the process to maintain consistency. Besides technology, sustainability also plays an important role in modern pasta manufacturing.